Thank you everyone for being here tonight, and for those people watching on television, I'd also like to thank the League of Women Voters and ATEC for hosting this event. I am Judge Tom Harris, and I've been judge of the County Municipal Court for over 25 years. I'm a candidate for the Court of Common Pleas, specifically the seat currently held by Judge Al Mackey, who is retiring. I was appointed judge of the County Municipal Court by the Governor, and I was elected in 1989, 1995, 2001, 2007, and 2013. I'm a past president of the Association of Municipal and County Court Judges of Ohio. I'm a member of the Northern Ohio Judges Association and the American Judges Association. I'm a former member of the Executive Board of the Ohio Judicial Conference and a former chairman of the Criminal Law and Procedure Committee for the Ohio Judicial Conference. I've been an instructor for the Ohio Judicial College, and I've attended the National Judicial College. I've also served as a mentor for new judges. Prior to becoming a judge, I was the Chief Assistant County Prosecutor here in Ashtabula County, and I also maintained a private law practice. I've been involved in many community service organizations. I'm a past president of the Conneaut Rotary Club, and I've been involved in the Northeast Ohio Soapbox Derby, the Mighty in Court program, which I founded 26 years ago, is currently in existence, and I personally believe that candidates who want to serve their community should be leaders and actively participate in their community organizations. Like many government offices in our state, my court has had to reduce staff size over the last few years due to limited funds. And like many courts in our region, criminal caseloads have gone up while resources needed to deal with those problems have gone down. I'm pleased to report to all of you that my court and myself have been able to handle those increased burdens. There is more to being a judge than simply wearing a robe and sitting in a courtroom. You have to know how to fairly and impartially decide cases. You have to apply the law to the facts. You have to administer the court, the personnel, and utilize the limited resources available to the judicial branch in an effort to get the best possible result. I am the only candidate in my race who is a judge. I am the only one who has the responsibility to submit a budget and to properly operate a government office within that budget. I would like to point out that all 4 of our current county judges held elective public office prior to obtaining their current positions. This is very important because they had to learn how to accomplish their assigned tasks with limited resources. Remember, it costs less money to hire somebody who already knows how to do the job. After 25 years in office, I continue to enjoy being a judge. I would continue to enjoy serving you as your judge here in Ashtabula County, and I hope to have your support on November 4th. Thank you very much.
Thank you, League of Women Voters. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you time right now? Good evening, everyone. Thank you, League of Women Voters. Thank you, ATEC, for inviting us here. My name is Ariana Tarighati, and I'm running for the bench that Judge Mackey is retiring from. I am a proud resident of this county. I live in Roaming Shores with my handsome son, Robert, who's 14 years old. I'm a proud graduate of Jefferson Area High School. I went to Kent State University, where I graduated with honors, and then I went to Cleveland Marshall College of Law, where I graduated with my Juris Doctorate degree. I've been an attorney for 26 years. I spent 17 of those years as a prosecutor. As a prosecutor, I handled rapes, murders, capital cases, child rapes, burglaries, robberies, drug cases, you name it, I handled them. Cases that went to jury, and I had jury trials. As I said, I've been a prosecutor for 17 years. Most memorably, I prosecuted the Jeffrey Lundgren, or helped to prosecute the Jeffrey Lundgren cult murder cases with former Congressman Steve LaTourette. Jeffrey Lundgren, if you recall, ultimately received the death penalty. I was the chief assistant in this county for 8 years, the chief assistant in Ashtabula County. During that 8-year period, I worked with Tom Sartini, and we prosecuted cop killer Audrey Jones, who currently sits on death row for killing a beloved police officer in our community. I have also been an acting judge in the municipal court where they handle primarily misdemeanors and traffic tickets. I have also argued before the 11th District Court of Appeals. I have argued before the Ohio Supreme Court. I have handled cases in federal district court, in the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals, and in front of the United States Supreme Court. I went into private practice in 2005, and I guess you now say that I'm a small business owner. I have my own law office in Jefferson, Ohio. In private practice, I have handled criminal matters, civil matters, appellate matters, and I'm also the guardian ad litem for hundreds of children in our community. When parents can't get along and they're fighting over custody in a divorce case or in a juvenile case, I act on behalf of that child and act in that child's best interest, and I make recommendations to the court. I make recommendations to the court of common pleas in a domestic case or to the juvenile court in a juvenile case. I've spent the last 26 years or so of my career in the court of common pleas, practicing in the court of common pleas. My opponent talks about not having somebody come and learn the job. I'm not going to have to learn the job. I've been in that court day in, day out. As a matter of fact, I have a trial tomorrow morning before Judge Vettel. That's how often I'm in the court of common pleas.
Thank you. Do you have a recommendation to resolve the overcrowding in our county jail? Mr. Harris.
Well, Ashtabula County Prosecutor Nick Irochi convened a meeting of the lower trial court judges in this county to work on that problem. There's obviously 5 components to dealing with jail, and that's education, job training, substance abuse, and mental health counseling, supervision, and incarceration is one of the 5 options that are available to judges when sentencing. But we're dealing with that, but it all gets back to funding. And the funding, when the local revenue funds were cut by the state to the counties and the cities, that reduced the amount of money that they had to incarcerate, and it reduces the amount of money that we have to deal with that problem. And I would like to point out, because some people don't fully understand this, it costs money to build jails, but it costs a lot of money to operate jails. And you have to have people at the judicial level who can balance the limited funds that are available to the communities in order to deal with that problem.
Ms. Tarighati.
Would you please repeat the question?
Do you have a recommendation to resolve the overcrowding in our county jail?
Our jails are overcrowded, and part of the problem is that we have community-based sanctions now that the legislature decided back in 1996 that certain crimes, it was better to keep people locally punished rather than being sent to prisons, and that was because of prison overpopulation. So what our communities now must do are find varying steps for treatment. And my suggestion would be, and as a judge, you don't really participate in the actual decision-making in terms of how many people are going to be in the jail, that sort of thing. It's something that needs to be worked out with the court, or with the commissioners, with the sheriff, and with the budget.
Thank you. How many cases have you tried in court?
Jury trials, I've tried at least, I'd say between 50 and 100 jury trials. I'm not going to say an exact number because I, unfortunately, over the 26 years of my career, I've only paid attention to the number of cases that I've lost, and that's 3. But I never kept track of all the jury trials, all the bench trials. Again, in common pleas court, where I've actually been in front of a judge, I've tried very many cases in front of Judge Mackey, whose bench I am now seeking to hold.
Mr. Harris.
Well, you have to remember I'm also a judge, so I've tried a lot of cases, but I've tried civil and criminal jury trials. At the common pleas level, as a private lawyer and as the chief assistant prosecutor, I tried numerous jury trials. I did not keep count. I believe the most I tried in 1 year was 11 jury trials. As an attorney, as a judge, I've disposed of over 86,000 cases. I can't give you a number because there's just so many that you tend to lose track of them once you get above 50,000. So that's, sorry that I can't give you a better number than that, but there's a lot of cases.
Do you believe that prior judicial experience is critical for the position of a common pleas judge?
Are you asking me or?
Mr.
Okay. I personally think that it's very important to have an understanding of the limitations available to the court when running a court. So I would answer that question in the affirmative, because it's not, as I said earlier, simply putting on a robe and sitting in the courtroom. It's administering the court, utilizing limited resources to solve problems. And I would like to point out that, you know, I've had the experience as a chief assistant prosecutor. I've had the experience as a private practitioner. And as a municipal court judge, I've conducted civil and criminal jury trials. I've conducted and ruled on the admissibility of evidence. I administer the court and the court personnel and solve the problems with limited resources. I've ordered that offenders be incarcerated, placed on probation, ordered into mental health and substance abuse treatment, and I found defendants not competent to stand trial and not guilty by reason of insanity. And all of those duties are the same duties that are imposed upon a common pleas court judge.
Ms. Tarighati.
I have judicial experience, as I indicated earlier. I have been acting judge in municipal court, which is the same level of court that my opponent has been sitting for the last, I believe, 25 years. My experience in the actual court where I want to be the judge, I believe, is critical. I have actually handled the types of cases that I as a judge would handle on a day-in, day-out basis. I have tried a capital case. I would know how to make rulings on capital cases. Unfortunately, in this county, we have murders pretty much every few weeks. We've had quite a few capital cases this year, and I would be ready to handle a capital case if need be, because I've done it before.
Thank you. Candidates for common pleas court, today 2915. For the candidates for common pleas court, probate juvenile,